In this video, we're going to be discussing the RevBits Endpoint Security USB device policies. To find that policy, we first click on Policies, scroll down to USB device policies, and click there. The first screen we're presented is a list of all the USB policies I currently have. Now, as you'll see as we walk through the application, there are certain situations where you may want to have more than one policy, and I'll explain that as we go along. What I'm going to do is scroll to the bottom and click Create. And now we have the options for what type of policy we're going to create. So you'll see we have options for blacklisting or whitelisting, which obviously is inclusion or exclusion. And then we have our target. We can say full network. We can choose a group of workstations if you've created a group. I have a group called test. Or I could choose individual workstations. This is one of those use cases where you might have multiple USB device policies. You may be creating one policy for this group of computers over here, another one for the entire network, and yet another one for a different group. So you have a variety of options just depending on the use case you're pursuing. For simplicity, I'm going to choose full network for today. Once we have that chosen, the next thing is to choose what are we blocking? What type of, or what are we blocking or allowing rather? What are we looking for? So in this case, I can say USB printer, mass storage, anything I want. It's in a class. That class is just, basically what kind of device is it? If we don't want to do it that broad, we can narrow it down a little bit and say vendor ID and product ID. Or we can narrow it down even further and say just this serial number. We're only, for example, we'd say I'm only going to allow this serial number from this device to be used and nothing else. So we'll have lots of variety in terms of what we want to do for that policy. Beyond just having that policy, though, we also have a lot of logging here that can be helpful as well. We have one other type of a logging system where you can create a log to say, I want to log activity or monitor files of USB activity. So you could start logging that information and have the ability to go out and capture that across, either one computer or a whole group of computers. We also have USB device logs. This is just showing when somebody plugged in or unplugged a device in their system in USB. So I can see what the device name is. I can see for example, in this case, you can see the vendor ID and product ID. In some cases, we're just having it by group. So we have the ability to look at all that stuff, but we also can see, once you have a policy established, what device logs show for what's been blocked. So in other words, this person tried to plug in this device, which was a mass storage device, and we blocked it. And we can then see specifically when did that happen, all the details about it. So we can sort of learn what happened, why somebody was plugging that in. This can be very helpful if you're trying to understand who's using these devices, who's trying to use these devices, and making better decisions in terms of, do I need to block this for everyone? Do I need to block it at all? It's really handy to have. So, final thing I want to mention is that our endpoint security product includes these USB device policies at no additional cost. So, if you buy our endpoint security, you're going to have access to everything you just saw and a whole lot more. Thanks for watching.